Hello everyone. I am going to go over Phonics and Language, page 333 with you today. It is a little complex as far as the directions. It's similar to another page we did, and I had a lot of questions about it. So instead of that, I'm just going to walk you through it one sentence at a time. Okay, I'm going to read the directions. Number 1 says, read the sentences, underline the verbs twice and all of the nouns once. Number 2, draw a circle around the 2 adjectives. That means in all of these sentences, there's only going to be 2 adjectives. And draw a small arrow to the noun they describe. Number 3, draw a box around the 2 adverbs and draw a small arrow to the word that they describe. Okay, I'm going to do this one sentence at a time because that's just going to be easier for y'all to see. But the first sentence, Lily and Maggie sang a beautiful song in church. The first thing that we are going to do is find the verb and underline it twice. So you're going to say, what are Lily and Maggie doing? And they are singing, or in this case, sang. So we're going to underline sang twice. Then we are going to underline all of the nouns once. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or a thing. So that makes Lily a noun, Maggie a noun, song a noun, and church a noun. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, according to the directions, is we're going to look and see if there are any adjectives in this sentence. Remember, an adjective describes a noun, and usually adjectives come before the noun. So you can look at the words you underline here and see if there are any describing words about them. There are no describing words about Lily and Maggie, so we're going to move to our next noun, which is song. There is a word that describes song, and it is right in front of the word. So, beautiful song. This is our adjective, and it describes song, so our arrow is going to point to song. And that is it for this sentence. So we'll go ahead and move to the next one. Okay. Coach Peterson taught us to play soccer. It looks like my marker kind of bled through a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again. The first thing we're going to do is find the verb. So we're going to say, Coach Peterson, what did he do? He taught. So this is our verb that we underline 2 times. Remember, the verb is always an action word. And now we're going to underline each noun 1 time. So Coach Peterson is a person, and soccer is a person. Is a thing. Sorry. So it's a noun. Okay, now we're going to look and see if there are any adjectives. Remember, adjectives tell about our nouns. So we're going to look at Coach Peterson. There's no describing words about him, and there is no describing words about soccer. So we are finished with this sentence. We don't need to circle or box anything. Okay, our next sentence. Marco raced quickly to the big playground. Okay, again, the first thing we're going to do is find our verb. What is Marco doing? Well, he's racing. That makes raced our verb. We're going to underline it twice, and then we're going to find all of our nouns. Marco is a person, which means he's a noun, so we're going to underline him once. And playground is a thing, so that makes it a noun as well. Okay, now we're going to look and see if there are any adjectives. So you're going to look at your nouns. There are no describing words talking about Marco, but there is one talking about playground. Remember, adjectives answer the questions what kind or how many. What kind of playground? Big playground. And so it's going to point at playground because big is telling about the playground. Now, there is another type of word in this sentence, and that is an adverb. Remember, adverbs tell you how the person is doing the verb. So how did Marco race? He raced quickly. We're supposed to put a box or a square around our adverbs and then draw an arrow pointing back to the verb. All right, so he raced how? Quickly. And we're going to move to the next sentence. Okay, Daniel faithfully prayed to God. Again, the first thing you're going to do is find the verb. What is Daniel doing in this sentence? He prayed. So this is our verb. Remember, your verb is your action word. Now we're going to find the nouns in this sentence. Daniel is a person, so he's a noun, and God is also a noun because he's a person. Okay, we need to look at our nouns and see if there are any describing words. There are no words that describe Daniel here, and there's no words that describe God. So we're going to move on to our adverbs. Okay, remember adverbs say how somebody did something. In this case, it's how Daniel prayed, and he prayed faithfully. So we're going to put a box. I almost put a circle, but it's not a circle. It's a box or a square. And then you're going to draw an arrow pointing at the verb. Now, this sentence, the way I wrote it out really big so you can see it, it's kind of strange, but the verb is down here, prayed. And that is all of number 1, 2, and 3. Now, on number 4, on this next sentence, it looks a little bit different because they are wanting you to diagram it. So you have to mark it and then you have to diagram it. Thankfully, they've given you some pretty simple sentences. Number 4 says, mark the sentences, diagram the sentences. Now, this is something that we've been having a problem with on our paper. Most of the time, in a simple sentence, there is only one word that's going to go on this line and one word that is going to go on this line. Okay, so this sentence, Jesus loves me. How you know how to divide it is you say, who or what is this sentence about? That's the subject. Jesus is the subject, so the line goes right here to divide Jesus as the subject. Now, since he is the subject, we underline Jesus once, and we underline the verb twice. What Jesus is doing is loves. Jesus loves me. Now that you've marked the sentence, it's a lot easier to diagram. Your subject is going to go on the first line, and your verb is going to go here. So it's going to be Jesus loved, or loves, sorry, Jesus loves. Okay, and that is what your diagram will look like. All right, let's go to the next sentence. I think there's 3 of these, maybe 4, I'm not really sure. I helped my teacher today. Okay, you're going to say, who or what is this sentence about? This sentence is about I. So your line is going to go right here. I. And I is your subject. What is I doing? I am helping, or in this sentence, past tense, helped. So I helped my teacher today. So your subject goes on the first line, I. And your verb, helped, goes on the second line. I helped. Oops, sorry. All right, that was off the page, but your diagram should look like that. I helped. Okay. This is the last one. Ben's friend plays baseball. Okay, you're going to say who or what is the sentence about. Now this one is tricky because a lot of people want to say it's about Ben, but it's not about Ben. It's about Ben's friend. So your line is going to go right here. Now, you also, a lot of people are going to want to put Ben's friend down here, but remember, usually your subject is only one word, unless it has and, like Ben and Mark, then they would both go down here. But in this case, it's just friend on the subject. And then what he is doing is plays. So this is your verb, and then your subject, friend, is going to go on the first line. And your verb, plays, is going to go on the second line. And that is it for Phonics and Language, page 333.